On 103.2 Dublin City FM and around the world, we are dublincityfm.ie.
Hello, you're listening to Good Morning Dublin on 103.2 Dublin City FM. I'm Casey Lee McCrudden and I'm joined by Patrick Guliev. We're joined in studio by the lovely Jane Negrich, MD, from The Sanctuary in Dublin 7. Good morning, Jane. How are you?
Good morning, Casey. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming in. So, Jane, we're here to talk about the 31-day meditation challenge that The Sanctuary is running in honour of World Mental Health Day, which is on the 10th of October, so smack bang in the middle. Could you tell me a bit about that? Is this your second year of running
This is the third year.
Okay.
So, yeah, we started running the 31-day challenge in, really to raise awareness about the importance of good mental health and, in honour of World Mental Health Day. I think so about 3 years ago, and it was a huge success. And so I suppose at the Sanctuary we have this wonderful crew of mindfulness and meditation facilitators. Of course, we have the wonderful Sister Stan Kennedy, who is the founder of the Sanctuary, and Sheila Wall, who's also the founder. And we have wonderful board members like Dr. Tony Bates. And we decided that we have this wonderful collection of really talented meditation teachers. Let's put on a 31-day challenge and see how it goes.
And so the challenge specifically is that people should meditate for 10 minutes every day for the month of October?
This is new for the third year. So
Okay.
the first couple years, it was we just gave facilitators sort of free range and said, but except for we have themes. So for 4 weeks, this year our themes are: the first week is all on mindfulness. The second week, the meditations are on kindness and compassion. The third week, the meditations are on nourishment. And the fourth week is on rest and rejuvenation. So they're operating within this theme, but we wanted to make it fun and really easy. And the first year we had about 500 people on the challenge. And in the second year, we jumped to like 1,500.
Oh, wow.
And so we're really hoping to get as many people as we can. And indeed, even organizations within Stony Batter or organizations within Dublin or Ireland to do it as a collective, to challenge yourself. And we felt 10 minutes is a wonderful little bite-sized chunk. It's very doable, and it's also a wonderful way to create a new habit without getting overwhelmed.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely.
Get that.
I love that. 10 minutes is perfect because, I'm sure there's nobody that can say they don't have a spare 10 minutes in their day somewhere. Those 10 minutes that you spend, watching Netflix or, looking at your phone. It's important, I think, to make time for these kind of things. So I suppose, what are, the benefits of meditation, or how do you have any pieces of advice for people who, I know everyone thinks they know what meditation is, but I have this hunch that people don't actually know how to go about it in real life terms. So I suppose for anyone out there who's like, how would I even start? What would you recommend, or what piece of advice would you give?
Well, that's a really good question because, we have all sorts of preconceived ideas about what meditation is. And so many times when I'm teaching, I'm a mindfulness teacher, and that's one form of meditation. But there's many different forms of meditation. There's imagery, there's mantra meditation. There's all sorts of different forms. But what usually is the one consistent element is there's some sort of support to focus the mind on. Many people come to me and think that meditation is about clearing the mind.
Floating.
Yes. And it's all about floating. It's not about floating. It's not about trying to create something different from what actually is happening. It's about actually being present to what is happening in the moment. But there can be concentration meditations as well, where you are focused on, words or, an image or an imagination. You might be imagining a safe place. And we kind of, in this challenge, we have a mixture of all sorts of different things. But it's not about clearing the mind. What we're trying to do in meditation is simply take a step back and start seeing what's running through the mind. So when you see it, this is where the space opens up, and you can either follow those thoughts, or you can just observe them, and it creates the space where you have choice rather than being governed by whatever storyline is running in your mind. So for instance, if I woke up this, one morning and I feel like, oh gosh, I'm just not good enough. I just can't do the job. I don't think I can, get through this. This is a storyline that's not necessarily true. But through meditation, we're creating this habit of stepping back and seeing that thought and going, I see the thought. It's not necessarily true. And it doesn't have to be that way.
Oh, that is beautiful. I love that.
It's self-awareness, really. It's just being aware of how your own brain is working and being able to step back from it, as it were, and not be trapped in your own sort of constant inner
ruminations.
I think everyone can relate, though. Everyone's like that. We're always going a mile a minute. What's the next thing I have to do? What's the next thing I have to think about? It's like really interesting stuff. Like it sounds simple in theory, but I feel like in practice it's definitely a lot. Like, do you have that with people? Do they find it difficult? Or
it's simple in theory, but it takes practice, and so you have to build up that practice. That's why we're doing these 10-minute meditations. If we said we're going to do a 31-day meditation challenge and they're all going to be 45 minutes long, well, people would just drop off because it is tricky. So if you start off small in bite-sized chunks, you can definitely build from that place. And there's all sorts of different ways. Like I said, most people are very familiar with using the breath, as a support, something, because the breath is always here. It's something that's really reliable, that we can always focus in on something, that it also is in our bodies. So it brings us home to the body, which is a great place. The body is always present. It's the mind that travels all over the place. But we can use sounds as a support. You can use the body sensations as a support. There's all sorts of different ways. But it takes practice. And when you start getting used to it and, I've done this before, and recognize, that this is something that's happened, and it starts to happen naturally.
It's like muscle memory, but for your brain as a muscle.
Definitely. It's like going to the gym.
Do you get many skeptics coming to you?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And how do you kind of relate that to like meditation can work?
Well, it's just give it a try. And meditation is not for everyone. It's not like a panacea that's going to, fix everyone's problems. Some people really struggle with it. I try to teach meditation to my children who are now like all in their early 20s. And they've were huge resistance, like, saying it doesn't work. But it's funny because now, at least I had planted a seed, in when they were doing in secondary school or primary school, that now they're starting to do it in small little ways themselves, on their own terms. So there's all sorts of skeptics, but that's okay. I'm always encouraging people just to give it a try, and see what happens.
It won't hurt.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, and I know like you're the managing director over at the Sanctuary, and I suppose I just wanted to ask, like, how you're originally from Canada.
Yes.
We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
How did you get into this line of work, like mindfulness?
So I came to it. I'm actually a burn survivor. You can see I've got burn scars all over my left arm here. When I was 20 years old, I was working as a Canadian in a fly-in fishing resort, where really wealthy Americans would come up to Canada and rent boats and go off fishing on our lakes. And I was a waitress, and after work one day, someone threw petrol on a campfire and it exploded, and it was very traumatic. So I was really good for a long time, but then my PTSD started to surface, and I started to really suffer with flashbacks and all sorts of different anxieties and fears. And so I knew I needed something to help support me to get better, to manage the PTSD symptoms. So I went and learned how to meditate. And it was really, and then I started seeing this word mindfulness everywhere. And then I was like, what's this mindfulness about? And I went and did a master's in mindfulness and became a mindfulness teacher. And then I worked for a UK company teaching mindfulness and meditation all over Europe and the UK. And then, but I was living in Ireland. I've been here for the last 22 years.
Oh, wow.
And I've always heard of the Sanctuary. It's just such an amazing place. It's got fabulous gardens. They have fabulous programs. They do such important work. And we've got this brand new biodiversity field right in the heart of Stony Batter with labyrinths all through it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you definitely need to come and see it.
We will.
Yeah. So it was a natural progression, I suppose.
I mean, it's great that you're teaching from experience. You're not some like fraudster up there trying to convince people this is good. Like it's something you yourself have used, and I
Yes.
suppose that probably really shows in your teaching. So for anyone that wants to get involved in the 31-day meditation challenge, they can go to your website, am I right? And they can donate a minimum of €30 or more to the On Cuin program.
Yeah, so our Uncoon program, again, is a program that is a fantastic program that's really designed to break down barriers to the well-being table, because the well-being table can be pretty expensive. So all the monies that we raise go towards anybody who needs a little extra financial assistance or would like to take a course, and we do not turn anyone away from our doors, whoever wants to take a course for any reason in the sanctuary. So that's the fund that all the donations go towards. And of course, if there's somebody out there who cannot afford €30 and would still like to do the 31-day challenge, of course we would let them on the 31-day challenge, because that's part of our ethos.
That's so lovely. I love that it's going back into the work of the sanctuary and back into helping more people then, enjoy mindfulness, because wellness is something like, mental health and meditation. It's not something everyone has the privilege of, accessing the resources, but you have a lot of things online, a lot of free meditations on YouTube. I was looking at, they're brilliant.
And we have free community meditations online 3 times a week, and we have over 3,000 people subscribed. On a Monday morning, there's usually about nearly 200 people every Monday morning, Wednesday evening, Monday mornings at 10, Wednesday evening at 7:30. There's always, nearly 200 people, Thursday lunchtime. And it makes such a difference to people's lives to just be attending, to feel part of a community, to feel that they're not alone, to know that it's just part of our human experience to go through difficult moments and to practice together. It's so rewarding, and it's just amazing.
It's lovely. It sounds brilliant, and I wish you all the best of luck with the challenge. I mean, us over here at the station might take part.
I think you should.
I love to.
You let me know and I will sign you up.
For sure. Thank you so much for coming in, Jane. It's been an absolute pleasure. We're going to go and have a little song now in honour of the late Dame Olivia Newton-John. This is Physical.
Let's get physical.